There are a lot of places where you can watch other people be successful with their small farm, homestead, or estate. But what is necessary for you to take the next step so that you can have your own oasis, your own food security, your own physical security in your small farm or estate? I'm Justin Hitt with Prosperity Homestead. We're going to talk today about the evolution of a successful homestead. There is an evolution from consumer to producer where you go from dependent on the world around you to independence through a clear and specific path. Now, what's the benefit of this? First off, it is about providing for your family in a situation that could be uncertain. So you have 5 or more acres. Now, could you have less? You certainly could. But I think if you have 5 or more acres, I've seen it time and time again, you're going to have the ability to start that homestead area around your home where you have an abundant garden, where you have shelter, family recreational areas, outdoor living spaces, all the things that you're going to want and desire so you can move from just simply having a place to live, being a consumer of the world around you, to start moving towards self sufficiency. Now, you may think, well, I can just go to the grocery store. I can just go and get what I want. The problem about what's at the grocery store is that the vegetables have fewer and fewer minerals every year. It's cost so much to feed the soil all this petroleum product, all of this pesticide and herbicides, that while there is food in the grocery store, the food is not healthy. The food lacks nutrients, and it very often causes more harm in our bodies than is good. Think about it this way: what kinds of fresh herbs are you able to get at the grocery store? What kind of fresh vegetables do you get at the grocery store? All the vegetables seasonal, all the vegetables of good quality that when you bring them home, they last for a little while, at least to the end of the week, when you've brought them into your household. Time and time again, the typical grocery store does not deliver high quality food. Now they'll deliver packaged goods, they'll deliver salt, they'll deliver calories, but they're not going to deliver high quality food. And with 5 or more acres, you can start outside your house with a small garden, with an herb bed, with beautiful fresh flowers, and start moving towards being a producer. So the stages start out where you have a place to live, you're simply consuming, and you are just starting to understand that the quality of life comes from just a little bit of effort in a different place. And then you start moving towards self sufficiency, where you can have a well managed pantry. So that if there's a storm and you can't go to the grocery store, you at least have dry goods, you at least have emergency foods, you at least have something to put on the table no matter what happens. That was extremely useful during the COVID. When the COVID happened and they locked down everything in my area, I didn't go to the grocery store for 6 months. We still had regular meals, we still had regular food, but I didn't have to go into a grocery store because I didn't want to wear a mask. See, that's the self-sufficiency. That's the balance between consumption and production. But the next level is where you start becoming a community provider. Now, you might not do this all on your own. You might not sit at the farmer's market and sell product, but you may have a network of people in your community where you deliver a certain service or a certain value into that community, and that community delivers values to you. So, almost to the point where you are a symbiotic part of a sustainable and healthy community. Again, what is the benefit of this? Well, if you're building up abundance on purpose at your own property, you have a better sense of a stability, a better sense of belonging, and stress just melts away. You might still be working at a job in town. You might be working remote. You might be working on a farm that you're trying to establish for financial benefit. But those 5 acres around your house become the outdoor living space, the entertainment space, the quality foods that you're going to interact with every day, fruit trees, other aspects like that, long before you have the broad acre farm, long before you have the recreational space, long before you have the forest systems, you will have the movement from consumption to balance to production. Now, when you're creating an abundance on your property, meaning you're producing more vegetables, more fruits, more herbs, more eggs, more meat on your property than you can consume, now you have something to offer to the rest of your community. Now, you can offer this as a farmer and you're going to sell at the farmer's market, or you're going to form a CSA, which is community sponsored agriculture, or you're simply going to hold a party and invite your friends to bring a dish, and you're going to showcase the value added foods that you have, or the things that you've been able to produce. There may not even be a monetary exchange, but the key is when you're able to produce more than you need, you're in a position of abundance where you can start building out, say, your pantry or your cold storage. You can start building out those elements of your property that give you long term sustainability. Now, let's go a little bit further and talk about the production. And this is the most successful evolution of a household where you're actually minding the microbiology to benefit your body and your health, your gut biome. So the food that comes from your yard is going to be healthier, better minerals, better nutrients, fresher, and it's going to have certain enzymes and microbiology that's going to help your gut biome so that you digest food better, so that you're healthier, so that you have more energy, more clarity of thought. And the exercise of interacting with your yard in your near, so what we call zone one in permaculture, that exercise of interaction, that fresh air, that sunlight is going to make you healthier as well. And your family getting together and doing these chores. I know when I was a kid, I hated doing chores. I didn't want to go out and split firewood. I didn't want to go out and clean up the yard. I didn't want, but guess what? Guess what? These became opportunities to build relationships with my brothers and sisters, to learn new skills and gain confidence as a child. While I didn't realize it at the time, uh, these were created opportunities within my household for me to experience life, for me to get away from distractions, for me to go. I didn't have the internet back then as much. I did have the internet about in 1989, but it wasn't like it was today where it's constantly vying for your attention and equipped to monetize your thought and attention. What we're looking for here in the evolution of a successful household is to go from simply a place to live to a self sufficient homestead, then from there into a small farm or a destination. So let me give you some examples of folks that I know that are doing things. So one person owns a foundation and they have a demonstration garden, demonstration resources, and people can go there and actually learn how to be a farmer. Another property I'm aware of that's in the same evolution from consumption to production is a restaurant owner that owns a bed and breakfast. So he's taken his home, remodeled the home, set up bedrooms and entertainment spaces so that he can have a bed and breakfast on his property and share his property with people who are traveling through the area. I know another individual who has a large amount of timbered land that is of low value, except the fact that putting trails on it increases its wildlife habitat and becomes a great property for hunting of deer. Another individual did the same thing up near Turkey. There's a turkey reserve in the Henry County area. They did the same thing. They made sure that they could access, as they were getting older, that they could access all the core areas of their property by side, and so they can get out there and still turkey hunt, even though they don't can't really walk the property anymore. They can still get out there and enjoy it. So they take the grandkid out, they take their friends go out there and they enjoy. Another family I know has set up an outdoor living space that actually has a kitchen and a little bit of a like it's like a pavilion with a kitchen and some picnic tables. And so rather than going to a park, their home is like a park. Do you see where I'm getting from here? There's a clear evolution. So it's not going to happen all at once. And you're going to stop trying to change others and start adapting your environment to be the perfect oasis for you and your family. So, what did I mean by that? So, consumption really is about what others can do for you. And that is a demand upon others to conform to your needs and desires. Well, if you've got simple needs such as high quality food, great shelter, security, good health, then what you'll often find is these things can be provided for yourself through either cooperation or just growing it in your yard. And so a lot of subscribers to Prosperity Homestead, they are property owners and they may have a small house or a big house. They may have a small amount of land or a large amount of land, but the evolution is the same. We have to shift from a place to live to self-sufficiency, and then from self-sufficiency to being a provider in our community. And now, yes, if everyone around you is a consumer, they're going to put demands on you as a producer to provide for them, but now you're in a different type of position. So if food prices go up, you earn more money. If there's a food shortage, what you offer has more value. If you're in a situation where you're providing for your family first to even just subsistence farming, then if other things fail, it's not bothering you. This gives you the opportunity to build old fashioned and meaningful relationships that have less drama and more value exchange. Now, it does put you in a power position because if you're the producer and you're going to the farmer's market and families start relying on you being able to bring fresh vegetables to the market, to bring high quality goods, better than organic, high value added goods such as fermented items or jams and jellies or other things that they can't get anywhere else, then you're actually putting yourself in a power position where you're now helping these other people create abundance in their own life. See, you may open up some ecotourism elements. So the first farm I mentioned that has the foundation, there is an ecotourism element there. You can come there to take classes. You can come there to do nature walks. You can come there to learn how to be a farmer, but it is a real functioning farm. The owner lives on the farm, consumes the vegetables and meats that are produced on that farm, and ultimately has a certain amount of balance and self sufficiency in their position. And I would argue that they've gone even further to be a pillar of the community, offering opportunities for school children and agricultural groups to really experience the outdoors, to experience farming, to experience, in his case, permaculture ethic. Can you do the same thing? Well, you certainly can. You can do it in your own way with your own strengths, building on the strengths, but it does mean you have to reduce outside consumption. So one example might be setting a goal to rather than going to the big grocery stores to buy your food, you're going to go once a month to the big grocery store to get dried goods, but you're going to tend to shop the local farmers market. You're going to tend to shop the health food store. You're going to tend to shop the bulk goods store and do business with people in your local region. Now, what does this do? If you're spending money with small local businesses in your area, that money is more likely to stay in the community as these other people have progressed across a successful household and they start accumulating wealth in your community and you start building relationships and then you start finding your reciprocal niche. Okay, so when you're a producer, what are you going to produce? Well, you want to produce what people want, you're going to produce what serves your family. Can you see how this works? Can you see how we're now moving to stronger communities? We're moving to more adaptive communities. We're moving even to alternative communities. So if the world around you goes to crap and starts to fail, at least your community, you've evolved from being simply in a place to live to being a part of the community and someone who lifts up that community, and you are enjoying life so much more. Now, I'm Justin Hitt with Prosperity Homestead. This is what we help our clients do. We work with service providers and we work with homeowners who have 5 acres or more. Now, the acreage doesn't matter as much because of the methodology that we use, which I've described here, where we help you go from simply a place to live to a balance of self-sufficiency to ultimately being a pillar in your community. And we're not against you having an estate. We're not against you having a palatial mansion. But what you'll find is that there's the right balance for what can be sustained through hardship and what your time and skills allow for. And as you start connecting in the community, you'll find service providers that can help you, as well as you as a service provider help them. The key to understand this successful evolution of a household is that it is a household. It could be a mixed generational household, it could be just yourself and spouse, it could be yourself and children. Your household will evolve as the folks mature in the household. And that is the greatest opportunity of this. You don't have to run city to city chasing opportunity. You can be in a position that anywhere you decide to live will be the right place for you to live. I want to thank you for listening. If you have questions about what I've shared here, ask them in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe or visit us at www.prosperityhomestead.org. Simply go to the contact page and ask your questions. That's the foundation of these podcasts that we share here. I want to thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.